My name is Donald Bates. I'm a former inmate that was wrongfully convicted and tortured by Chicago police officers under the name Donald Haywood in 2003. At 17, I was definitely in the streets. I hung out in the streets and stuff like that, but I really never got into any trouble or anything like that. It wasn't until 2003 when everything came to class and I graduated from grammar school, and I did maybe the first semester of high school in Indiana. We got into a cab and caught the cab to the west side of Chicago. I was going to get the keys to my car because it was getting fixed at that time, and went to go into the projects on 2450 on Monroe. And when I came back out with the keys, there was nobody out there. The car was gone and everything. Of course, it's around the 4th of July time, so hearing something that sounded like a firecracker would make sense. But I never was around, and after that I left and went on 15th and Lawndale where the second case had happened because it was an altercation, and at that point I was arrested and taken into custody, and the witnesses who came to the police station, like it was 4 of them, the mother, the husband, and the 2 daughters, and each one of them didn't pull me out of the lineup at all. They even testified at a trial, and my attorneys was crazy because they didn't understand that I keep telling them I'm innocent, and they allowed the state to do something called speculations. Well, speculation goes like this, that they only gonna let one person testify for the jury, and the one person who testified for the jury, they expect the jury to believe just that one person. They just speculate that the other people in the family will say the same thing, which don't make sense because you're supposed to let everybody get heard. And at that time, the jury only objective was, hey, he made a statement, but nobody ever brought out the pictures to show that I was beat up real bad by the police. As a kid, and my family was coming back and forth to the police station. They kept telling them I wasn't at either police station. Shortly after that, my grandmother passed away. She had surgery in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They sent her home prematurely. She caught pneumonia in the throat and died. So most of my support system died within my first month to first year in prison, both my grandma on my daddy and my mom's side. Any young person would be thinking of, like, I want to go home, like what's going on, and the fact that it was cold as hell inside the room that they had me in, the fact that I was handcuffed with my arms behind my back and my arms was going numb. I had been standing up for a whole bunch of hours, being kicked, punched, choked, pulled my hair, and I just wanted it to be over with. But like after the beating started and it didn't stop, they told me like, hey, if you say that you played as a lookout, we'll let you go home. And after a while of them continuing to do it, I was like, all right, I'll do it. And they took me from one room to another. The second room had a bench in it, and the bench is like, you can sit on the benches at area 4, and they handcuffed me to the bench. And then when I fell asleep, Detective Sam Cerrone came in and kicked me. And when he started kicking me and slapping me and punching me, I woke up out of my sleep, and he was like, "You a fucking liar." And then after that, the state's attorney, which is David Weiner, he came into the room with the detectives, and they was like, "Well, you agreeing to making a statement?" And I was like, "You said I'm going home." And the state's attorney walked out, and they came back in and jumped him again and said, "They said it's a simple yes or no." And that's all I had to do. And he told me, like, basically to read the paper or what they wanted me to say. Look, I played as a lookout. I didn't do nothing else. After that, They took me to like a low room where I made a videotape confession, and this probably was the worst day of my life because after that I never seen the streets until 2023. I mean, it was hard. When I got to prison, I had a first grade reading level. I was in some what they call ABE, mandatory school, but they wouldn't give it to me because of my age and because of the fact that you can only do 60 days in school or 90 days, and you'll have to get requests to go back. And the way the Department of Correction works is the education thing is real bad because they feel like you don't have under 10 years, so you're not supposed to be in school. Only the people who have under 10 years is mandatory supposed to get the education that they need. And the guys who like us, we spend 23 hours a day in our cell, and we may come out for yard and stuff like that 2 times a week. I mean, freedom is everything. I've been living by myself since I've been home. I worked steady 2 jobs, and it's hard to get bills together because every time you look up, it's another bill that's coming. But I consistently work and try to make it happen because like I'm all I got, and I'm gonna be the one who support me when ain't nobody gonna support me. Well, the thing is, like, it's a lot of government-funded organizations out here who receive the money and don't want to help the people who, when they get out, and they offer the very bare minimum, like a gas card or a bus card, instead of offering housing and places that we can go and get education and try to adjust to society the proper way. A lot of the things that places like Cara Collective, like I went to Cara Collective and I was told, hey, we're gonna offer, well, you can get you a good job, you can get housing, and we pay the rent for a year, but they wanted me to say forget my medical treatment because I suffer from a lot of different things, which I take chemo medication, which is like, it's for my liver autoimmune disease. And they didn't want me to make no doctor's appointment or I get kicked out of there. And places like St. Leonard's House, I had a job when I went there, I was offered that they would do certain things like if I get on my check stubs, and none of it never came through. Places like the Torture Justice Center who get government funding, they don't want to help. I'm literally a torture survivor. I was tortured as a kid by the police, and not one person at the Torture Justice Center has ever helped me do nothing other than put my name in BS. A GoFundMe is necessary for me because it will help me be able to focus on one, going to school, getting a real education, and I really want to get an attorney. Since I've been released from prison, Livingston County charged me with 2 felony charges of assault, in which I was the victim of, but they charged me as if I hit 2 people when I never hit them at all, and they consistently trying to get me to take 10 years in prison after doing 21 years wrongly. And I've talked to people and a lot of different attorneys who they don't want to go down there because they say it's a racist town and that their court there is corrupt because they work with the prison system because their families are inside high positions in that town. And the GoFundMe will help me afford an attorney in Chicago that will be able to drive down to Livingston County and represent me. I've asked the public defender they gave me, can we ask for a change of venue, because a lot of the officers who families work inside the courthouse, and then if you're gonna pick a jury, the jury gotta come from Pontiac or in Livingston County, and there's no way that I will win. And they, like, the case is a retaliatory case because I was beat up and almost killed by them. My appendix erupted, and they sent me in the cell naked with no clothes on, and I went to court. If I wouldn't have went to court on the 22nd of September, and the judge kept me, I would have already been dead right now. This interview wouldn't even be happening because when I went to court, they kept me, and then they did a CT scan and realized the pain in my stomach was coming because my appendix was leaking real bad, and they said that I had blood clots wrapped around it. And doctor said to me after I woke up that he didn't even know how I made it to court. I think that a lot of the stuff that happened is because it's not everybody is bad or every cop is bad. It's more so because a lot of people who get bullied in school feel like once they get an authority figure, they can abuse it. And some people who feel like, hey, I want to fit in, like that's just what happened. Like you got, like I can go back to the Department of Correction, the Illinois Department of Correction. You have a lot of officers who use steroids there, and they do the ultimate fighting at night when they get off work. So they come in the daytime or at night shifts and they power punch inmates and beat inmates up, and they feel like that's the best thing, and they sit back, laugh, and joke about it. And they feel like once we dare, we'll just consider that state property. That I'm a fighter and I'm gonna continue to fight no matter what obstacle get thrown at me. I'm gonna duck it and I'm gonna continue to go forward and build my life the way I'm supposed to build it.